Hi, Sally Walker here, your hormone expert, and welcome to my hormone blog. Today I'm going to talk about skin and hormones. So skin as in facial skin especially, but skin in general and hormones. Now, the reason I'm going to talk about this is because one, it's very interesting, obviously, but two, I get lots of questions, and especially because I had a birthday on Sunday, as to what do I do with my skin, how do I look after it, and then obviously how old am I. So I'm going to give you a little idea of my daily routine with my face, what I do every day, twice a day at least, etc. And for you, those of you that are thinking, well, how old is she? Well, I was 64 on Sunday. So, but let's start with the hormones. So as everything else in the body, the quality of your skin is very much dictated by hormones. And the three major hormones that seem to have the biggest effect on our skin are cortisol, the stress hormone as we call it, estrogen. This is this amazing hormone which gives strength to our skin, our connective tissue, our collagen, and it also gives hydration through something called hyaluronic acid. And then we've got testosterone. So testosterone, typically known as the male hormone. And yes, ladies, male skin and female skin is very different, isn't it? Male skin tends to be a little bit tougher, maybe a little bit drier, and has a lot more hair, doesn't it? Yes. So testosterone is responsible for hair growth, and it's also responsible for increasing something called sebum. And sebum is the fatty stuff which is also produced in and around the hair follicles. So you can guess that, ladies, that if you get too much testosterone production, then you might get hair. So we start getting the witch hairs, or we get darker hair on our body, arms, legs, maybe around the nipples. And then the line between your belly button, your navel and your pubic bones. So if you've got a dark line there of hair, then you're a bit of a testosterone bunny. And this may also mean that you're going to have an increased risk for acne and spots and things like this if you get an increased production of sebum. So there are your three hormones really. Now, what does cortisol do? Well, cortisol is your big breakdown hormone. So as we age, ladies, and we lose our estrogen, our skin or our connective tissue, or especially the collagen, gets weaker. One, we don't have the estrogen to maintain the strength, but two, cortisol becomes more dominant, and cortisol loves breaking down collagen. So again, another reason why you don't want to have too much stress in your life after the age of 40, and especially after the age of around 50 when you are done and dusted with your menopause. Yeah. So three hormones. The younger ladies sometimes have an imbalance with estrogen and testosterone. It doesn't have to be the younger ladies. We see it also in the menopausal times that estrogen and testosterone go out of balance, and ladies get more acne. They start getting the dark witch hairs, etc., etc. So now you know if you've got things like that, then there's something going on with testosterone, and perhaps you need to get it measured, and perhaps you need to get it controlled. And as for estrogen, well, it's going to decline, and the only way to really help that matter is by supporting with some estrogen cream. So I hope you found that interesting, and now I'm going to tell you about my daily routine, how I look after my face in the morning and in the evenings, and sometimes a little top up through the day. So I don't use a lot of products, and I've never been one to use lots of products, but I've got my basics. So we need some estrogen cream. So here's my estrogen cream. This is called Ovestin. You could equally use something called estriol cream from Biovia. So estriol is the estrogen, the mild estrogen, and this is the cream which I use. So what do? So I make sure my face is clean, and I use a very pure olive oil soap. Basically, that's what I use. And I'll also use a little brush. So I actually brush a little bit with the olive oil. Do this in the evening, especially, and the brushing will also take the dead skin, the top layer of the dead skins off. Yes, so that's what I do, and I've got a clean skin. I dry with a towel, and quite often I'll use a towel which is not quite so soft. So using a little bit of a rougher towel will also take the top layer of the dead skin cells. This is a really good thing to do because it's going to keep your skin looking more fresh. A couple of times a week, I will also use a sort of a defoliator, a scrub as they call it. My favourite products, and the products which I use more than anything else, is something called Amazing Space. So Amazing Space is a Danish product, but they do have an English web shop as well. So amazing-space.dk, and in you go and have a little look at all their products. So my favourite little scrub at the moment is the deep charcoal. So this has got the active coal in there as well. So it's you're all black when you've been scrubbing. It's lovely. It's very, very, very good. So anything just to make sure you're getting rid of that top layer of the skin on a daily basis. Maybe doing the brushing, maybe just taking the towel is a good enough thing to do. So when you've got your skin nice and clean, then you want to start putting something on it. So the first thing I put on is the estrogen cream, and I will use about 1 centimetre, and I'll put it around my wrinkles here, I'll put it around here, and I'll put it up here, and make sure it gets in nicely. Does it work? A lot of girls ask me, does it work? Well, I believe absolutely that my wrinkles are much lighter, much softer than they were before I started using it. And it's many years ago, but what I did notice was that I was using it here many years ago, started using it there. But I wasn't using it anywhere else. And what I started noticing was that the wrinkles up around my eyes were becoming much more permanent and much more deep. And I was thinking, I don't fancy this very much at all. So I started using this here as well. And I noticed that within a couple of weeks, the wrinkles actually became a little bit lighter. So I do believe it works. It is also going to get into the body and have an effect on the tissue which will be affected by estrogen. But remember, ladies, this is the absolute mildest of all the estrogens, and it has a very, very mild effect, if it has any effect at all, once it gets into the body. So, but this what I want to do on my face, absolutely. And the other area where you want to be using it is down below, because this type of estrogen, estriol, is absolutely the best related to vaginal hydration. So keeping you nice and moist down there, this type of estrogen is clinically proved to be the best of the estrogens for keeping your vagina nicely hydrated. Okay, ladies, so you want to look at that as well. So once I put this on, then I want to put some kind of oil on. I like using oil more than I use cream, and what I use is this one here called Rose Hip Repair. A beautiful oil, and I actually have a little pot of this in my handbag, so if I'm out and during the day and I feel like I need a little bit of a top up, then I'll use a little bit of top up of the oil, and it keeps the face looking nice and moist, and keeps it nice and moist, absolutely. So this is my favourite. So Rose Hip Repair from Amazing Space. In the evening, before I put my oil on in the evening, I have another oil I'll use in the evening. But before I do this in the evening, so it'll be the same procedure. I'll clean my face, and I will put my maybe use a mask, and I'll put my estrogen cream on. And then what I will do is I will put some serum underneath. So vitamin A serum is the one I like to use, so it's called Formula A. And it's because as we're going to bed now, the body's going to do a lot of good healing. So it needs the nutrients to do so. So the skin needs lots of goodies there before you go to bed. That's a really good time to put all your good oils and nutrients on. The oil I use at night time is a heavier oil than the rosehip. I will use something called avocado oil, and Amazing Space makes something called oil infusions. There are different types of one. I use the one with avocado oil, which is a heavier oil. It's not quite so good if you use it during the day because it's too heavy, but before bed it's a really good thing to do. And basically that's what I use. So let me just repeat that. I scrub a little bit with the charcoal. That's my favourite. There are different ones you can use, or you could just use the towel, just use the brush. I put my estrogen cream on, and then on top of that I will put my rosehip repair and put my oil on. And in the night, before I put my oil on, I will put Formula A on, which is vitamin A serum, and then I will use a heavier oil. So basically they're my 3 products which I use every single day. I do have another nice product which I use if I know I'm going to be outside in the sun. I live in Lanzarote, so there's always a lot of sun, but you know, I work inside, so I'm not always out in it. But if I do know that I'm going to be outside for a longer time, then I do like to put some cream on my face which will have a factor. So Amazing Space have made a new series called Precious Premium Pearls, or Precious Pearls, and these creams are amazing. So this particular one has diamond dust, and it also has crushed pearl extract. Got lovely rose and sweet almond and lots of amazing things. It smells absolutely amazing. And it's got the factor 15. So if I know I'm going to be outside for a longer period of time, then I will put a factor on, and this is absolutely amazing. So that I can recommend. But that's it. That's me. That's basically what I do. But I do it every day. I do it twice a day, and sometimes, as I said, I'll have a little top up of the oil during the day. But otherwise, twice a day. Very important to do this to look after your skin. That's it. That's all I have for you today, ladies. I hope you found this interesting. Remember, careful where you go with the hormones. If you've got lots of acne, lots of dark hair, the testosterone's out. If your skin's getting tired and weak and dry, then it's your estrogen. And remember, the cortisol is going to break down, so it's going to make for the weak skin, and you're going to get more wrinkles, and they're going to be more permanent and things like that. So careful as you go there. Well, I've enjoyed this session, and I will see you next time. Happy hormones, happy life.